Hello, everybody. Welcome to PonderCast Edu episode. We're doing another Riley Spotlight with Tyler Mesler. Um, Tyler was a graduate of when?
2017.
2017. So for some reason, I got a lot of 2017 grads on here. That must have been a really hype class. You guys have been doing a lot of good things. Not that the other classes didn't have a whole bunch of good people, but um, and it was one of my first years, so I got to know a lot of you guys pretty well. So Tyler, I'll have you introduce yourself and just kind of tell us what you've been up to lately.
So, like you said, I'm Tyler, graduated 2017. I bowled, played baseball for Riley. I'm still bowling for Trine, where I attend now. I'm getting ready to graduate here in the next spring. With the engineering program that I took at Riley, I ended up transferring in with 21 credits, I believe. So that allowed me to pursue a master's program. So I can graduate with my bachelor's and master's program in 4 years. So I can do all that at the same time. Other than that, I'm just working. I got an internship this past summer. I'm working with them again this summer, and they potentially want to bring me on full time. So that's my shirt. It's Mars Company. It's a water distribution / water meter company. They're based out of Florida, Ocala, Florida. So it's a little ways away, but they have a place in Wabash, Indiana that I work out of.
Okay, very nice. So you brought up a whole bunch of things. You brought up, doing engineering at Riley, doing engineering at Trine, bowling. You played baseball. So heavy involvement at Riley. So let's talk about the Riley days, and then we'll talk about the Trine days. So first, you mentioned you're involved in baseball and bowling. You were also one of the few students, and maybe the only one that I knew at the time, that took all of the engineering classes.
Yes.
So at the time, you took every single engineering and computer science class, I think.
Yep.
So
that was.
How did you pull off that? Because those are elective classes at Riley. How were you able to pull those off and still have time in your schedule for the core classes and getting everything done?
I think I transferred in with something that would cancel out, but I just made sure I had time in my day to take the engineering because I knew that's what I wanted to do and that's what I loved. Miss Cruz, she really helped me get through everything that I needed. I told her what I wanted to do and she made it happen. So we made sure I had time in my day to get through my engineering programs and what I wanted to do and what I needed to do. So that was the big plan. I knew and coming into Riley, I wanted to be an engineer. I knew I wanted to be an engineer. So I just didn't know what kind of engineering I wanted to go to. So I said, why not hit as many as I can to really narrow the field? And I hit everything I wanted. I took the parts that I liked, the parts that I didn't like, and kind of narrowed it down to what I wanted to do.
Right on. And for those of you who don't know, Mrs. Cruz is one of our amazing guidance counselors at Riley. So shout out to her. And now I'll have to text her and make sure that she watches this episode or listens to this.
She has to watch this episode. I'll make sure I message her too.
That's right. You mentioned bowling. You mentioned baseball. Were there any other things that you were involved in? I mean, both of those are very time consuming, but anything else you were involved in?
I was involved in as many things as I could. I watched Sam's the other day, like he said, like NHS, it was NHS, the leadership, student council, basically anything that I could get involved in, I was involved in, just throwing myself out there. I want to say building the resume, but also helping anyone that I could.
What were some of your favorite classes? And it doesn't have to be engineering. You were involved in a lot of the engineering classes, and yeah, I was your teacher, so don't let that be the answer. You don't have to suck up anymore. But what were some of your favorite classes and why?
Of course, there are going to be engineering classes. I think EDD was probably one of my favorite classes, the senior design, just because you could see the whole engineering process come together. We use, like, the way that we work in our engineering program is we use, like, the whole engineering process start to finish in every project that we do. So coming into that I knew what we were doing and I could understand it, while other people were kind of behind the curves there. So they were all coming to me, trying to understand what we were doing and how to do it. I would say almost any and all math classes that we had there. We did a really good job at teaching and understanding math. I just really enjoy math even to this day. So just math in general.
So you brought up EDD. Do you remember what your senior project was?
It was a shoe cleaner. I still have the project upstairs. I took it. So it was like a portable shoe cleaner because I was a big shoe head in high school, and my shoes were always dirty, and I was tired of cleaning them. So I made like a shoe insert. So it was like it had a reservoir, so you put it inside the shoe, and then it had like a brush. It looked like brass knuckles. It had like bristles on the outside of it, and then you could pump, you can spray it and whatnot. It was actually pretty kind of cool.
Are you still the sneakerhead?
Not as much now. I mainly wear boots and Crocs. That's all I wear.
That's the college look, right?
Yeah, it is. Sweatpants or jeans. That's all I wear anymore.
Yeah. And now that we're doing these e-learning days, right? Like you're home. So I think all of us agree there hasn't been a uniform worn in a few weeks now. And jeans or sweatpants have been the uniform of every school and every student and teacher around. What do you think some of the strengths of Riley are?
I would say they have a really good community. Everyone in Riley is like built around each other. They like come together when needed. And then I would say everyone works together. So like your engineering department, your math department work really well in like teaching things when they need to be taught to build upon each other, if you want to call it that. But overall, everything works very well together. I wouldn't say I really had very many bad experiences overall because everything just works so well.
We'll kind of shift a little bit, but so everything was good. Did you have any embarrassing moments that you can remember in high school?
Embarrassing moments. I would say I wouldn't call it embarrassing. The only person that really saw it was Adam Broadstreet, and I was walking down the auxiliary gym stairs my senior year right before baseball season, and I missed like the last like 5 steps, rolled my ankle, and that was why I was on crutches, and I tore like every ligament in my ankle, and I still have ankle problems to this day, but I missed like the first half of the season.
Oh man. It's all right. So you're a big baseball guy. You've been playing it your whole life. I'm guessing I can tell you what position or remember what position you play by your background. But
Yeah.
So you caught for Riley. Did you play any other positions, or what did you love about baseball?
I mean, I was a catcher forever, basically as long as I can remember. But I was like a middle infielder to like third baseman. That's like really all I ever played. And then baseball in general is just a sport that you have to like love. It's everything about it. It's just a work of art. There's everything about it.
I will say, I think you and I talked about as much baseball as we talked engineering.
That is
and
true.
I'll never forget back in 2016, as you can see, I got some souvenirs. I remember getting like a text message from you because you were absent one day in 2016. And I was like, that's weird. Tyler's like always at school. Do you remember where you were and some pictures you sent of what you were doing?
Yeah, no, I was talking about that last night with somebody, and I was at the World Series parade.
That's right.
That's a very memorable experience that you had to be there to like feel. There's so many people there, and I was just at like the last turn right before they got to like where they were going, and when I was there, like it didn't feel like there was a lot of people around me, but I saw like an aerial picture of like how many like thousands, if not like hundreds of thousands of people were like, right next to me, and you just didn't feel like that because like everyone was there experiencing the same thing you were. Everyone was so happy. Like you didn't feel crowded. You just were in the moment, and it was such a great experience.
Yeah, I remember. I felt bad like marking you absent that day. Like, he's at the Chicago Cubs parade. Like Like, I gotta mark them absent. But, and we talked about that for days, and obviously now we're still talking about it. So hopefully one day we can do it again, and maybe I'll be sick that day too with you. So there's no baseball going on right now, and really no sports, which is killing both of us. So I guess we'll keep talking about what we're doing around, right? So you're at Trine. Why did you pick Trine over many other engineering schools that you had the ability to go to?
I mean, I was looking at like Purdue main campus, Purdue Northwest, Indiana Tech, and Trine were like my like main schools that I was looking at. After going and visiting Purdue, like it was a great school, loved everything about it, but something about it just didn't scream me. And then I went to Indiana Tech. Honestly, wasn't my school. Something about it didn't scream me. Then I went and visited Trine, like on my way back from Indiana Tech, and everything about it was like it just felt like home. It's not too big, it's not too small. Like the classes are perfect. We were starting up the bowling team. I knew the coach, so I mean I was guaranteed a spot already, so we weren't worried about anything like that. So like everything just kind of like fell into place at the right time. So I was like, sure, why not? We'll try it. I mean, there's a few Riley guys that are still there. We're going there, so I knew some faces, but it wasn't like a bunch of people. But I mean, Trine itself isn't that big. I think on campus, like living on campus, is like 1,400 or so, and then like total commuters is like 2,500 or so. So I mean, it's not that big of a campus. So it's got its small campus feeling, but it's also got its times where you feel like a big campus. It's very homey.
Right, and it's gotten you the ability to do sports like bowling and get good internships. So with the bowling team, where have been some places you've gone and like other sports we know like travel all over the place? Where have you been going?
Yeah, so like our main tournaments that we go to are like Chicago, Wisconsin, like up in Wisconsin. We go to St. Louis, down in Indy, Toledo, Cincinnati, and then we go to our big tournament over Christmas break that we fly all the way out to Vegas.
Holy cow, you guys do more traveling than some of the other teams, right?
Yeah, every weekend in November we were gone, so we didn't have a single day off in November. We were gone like all of November, most of December, and then we had every other weekend we were gone in January. I mean, our first tournament is like September like 13th or something like that, and then we'll go. We were supposed to have our last tournament right before this whole COVID thing broke out, and then they ended up canceling it because they were worried about too many people being in one place. So I mean, if we went to nationals, we'd still be bowling currently. So we have like one of the longest running seasons.
So you start in mid-September and you usually end in May, right? Like right close to graduation, right? Holy cow. Wow, that is so you're taking up the winter and the spring season. Wow. Okay, and then so now with this coronavirus, COVID-19, you're home like all of the other college students pretty much everywhere. How is online classes going for a college student?
For me, I would say they're going pretty well. I still talk to all my buddies all the time. I get FaceTime calls from my roommate because, I mean, it's just my roommate. We talk to each other daily, and he can't get used to me being apart. And he said he's struggling a little bit because he's not used to. He doesn't like waking up, I should say. So he doesn't like doing the whole online classes. So I told him, all you gotta do is just roll over, grab your computer, and hop on class. He's like, yeah, I get that. I just don't like getting up. But I mean, I think that's the big struggle. But I enjoy it a little bit, or I would say more, because it's my only class that got moved to online is my engineering class, and it's Elements of Machines. So it's a pretty math-based, formula-based class. So he's posting all his lectures, and we're doing class. And the only thing we're doing during the classes is we're like working problems from homework and working like equations and whatnot. So he's recording all of them and posting them back online. So I believe that is a plus for me because I can go back and watch all that stuff. So if I don't understand it, and if we did it in class, he just does it on the board and just leaves it. So if you don't get it in class, then you're done.
Yeah, and you mentioned a little bit before that you went to Trine with like 21 credits because of the Project Lead the Way, the engineering classes and computer science classes that you took at Riley, and probably you took some other, dual credit classes while you were at Riley. So that got you ahead. You are also working on your master's.
Yep.
Is that also in engineering? Is that?
Yeah, it's in engineering management.
Okay. And so what have been some of the fun classes? Like being at home is kind of tough to do hands-on projects. And so you can't really do those at home while you're e-learning. But what have been some of your fun projects or classes that you've taken at Trine?
At Trine, I think a fun class that I've taken is it's FEA analysis. So you literally like make a part or a structure of some sort, and you can apply stresses or loading, and you can see like where all the stress points and the failure points would be on the parts. So we're and that's what we're doing in my class right now, is seeing where all that is by hand. So now we can go back and check our handwork to our computer work later on. So I think that's pretty cool. I can't think of the name of the class off the top of my head, but we did like an XYZ. We made a whole component that was like, I believe my sophomore year or second semester freshman year class. We had to make a whole component of just off the top of our head. And he goes, here's your dimensions. Here's where it's going to mount to, like the table. Go. And you could see like everyone like go off like in different directions of where they wanted to go. And he goes, I want you to, and you have to have I think at least 3 downloadable parts, and then the rest of the parts you can make. So we went to McMaster Car, and we downloaded the gears, the motors, and I think the shafts or something like that. Stuff that we really didn't want to design and take all the time to design. And we made the rest of the assembly around that, assembled our X, Y, and Z, and then mounted it to it. And then we had a fully functioning X, Y, and Z coordinates.
Okay, and you mentioned that you're doing an internship at, you said Mars?
Yes.
All right, so what do you do there, and what do they do?
So they are like a water distribution / water meter company. So they have like water meters that you can like normally read water meters off of, that you get like on the side of your house. You have like your gas meters. They do stuff like that, but they also do like big water distribution for like cities. Mm-hmm. So they have like the big tanks with like the big everything. I have a link that I can send you of like everything that we did, and we covered everything earlier. But what I did for them is I worked a lot of side projects, and I actually ended up doing a huge big project for them with them, and I have 3 patents pending with them from this past summer already too. Nice. So they brought companies in. They wanted me to work for them to do, or work with along. They wanted me to work alongside them to get a project done, and they knew that only I could do it because everyone in the company now is only doing drafting by hand. They haven't seen this 3D model drafting before. So I told them, yeah, throw it my way. I'll gladly do it. So I did it, threw it. They threw it my direction, and I just handled it like a champ. And
nice.
Just tackled it. One of the things is like, so like on the ground, like the water, it's like the water keys, or it's the water. They have the keys that have to go way down into the ground, and they're either 8 foot or 10 foot, and they make 2 different keys for them, and they have like different attachments that go on top of them. There's like 7 different parts that go onto them, and then the 2 different keys. So they said there's like 14 different options that you can make for them. So when they brought that company, and I talked to them, I said, in a part of one of the other classes I took was DFMA. It's design for functional analysis, or design for functional material analysis. So it's basically eliminating unnecessary parts or materials is basically what all that means. And basically what I did is I told them that all these parts were unnecessary. You can combine all these into one key and save yourself time, money, and parts. And they're like, okay, can you cook something up for me and see what we can do? And I was like, yeah, give me like a week, maybe 2 weeks, and I'll throw something together. So I threw something together, pitched their way, and they're starting to make them now. They're all it is it's just attachments that you can just pull off and put on, and then it's just like a telescoping piece that you can pull in and out. So
Nicely done, sir. Sounds like you went through the engineering process, high school, college, still doing it today. Sounds like that's one of the things you love about engineering. Who has been an inspiration for you and why?
I would say my dad has probably been my biggest inspiration. I mean, he was an architect out of like first coming out of college. So I mean, he still technically works as an architect, but right now he's in the fire department. But he's got me where I am. He loves math. I love math. He just got me everything that I love about engineering. He's just got me to where I am today. So
That's right. We're really thankful for him and all the other first responders, especially right now. While many of us are having to work from home, he doesn't have that opportunity. He's still out there doing his job and with everybody else. How is he doing?
no, he's doing good. He's technically working from home right now, but he's here. But mom's working from a hospital, so she's constantly going to the hospital and working there.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
You thank her too. Yeah, I was gonna say your mom. I was gonna say you're probably home alone more often than not these days because they're both.
Yeah, I live in my basement and hang out, do my homework.
Thank you to both of them. What do you suggest that some Riley students get involved with while they're in high school?
I would say as many things as they can handle that they enjoy. The key is that they enjoy. You don't want to take on too many things that like you don't want or you don't like per se. As long as you enjoy it, I would say go for it. If you're not sure about it, go for it. If you don't, I want to say if you don't like it, I would say stick it out for the rest of the year or try to stick it out as long as you can. But I would say just like go for as many things as you can. I would say boost that resume, make yourself look presentable, good to as many people as you can.
Right on. And now that we're kind of ending the school year, are you going to be doing an internship this summer with anybody, or continue with Mars? Or
yeah, I'm going to continue with Mars again this summer. I just had a call with them the other day. They want to bring me back again, so get ready to go down and work with them again.
Congratulations, that's great.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you for doing this. And then in wrapping up, what's your definition of success?
My definition of success is when the job is completely done and you know it's done right. I want to know, I want to say when everyone is satisfied. So like whoever is like you're working with, whether it's like your partners, your boss, your group, whoever that would be, if everyone is satisfied in the group, it meets your standards, it meets whatever your criteria you're trying to meet, that whenever it meets that or everyone is satisfied.
That's great. I'd say right now you're meeting all those success. I'd say all the people that invested in you, your team, from the baseball to the bowling to the parents to the teachers, you're doing a great job. So keep it up, man. Well, thanks for being on. And I can't wait to see what the next steps are for you after internships and college. So you're going to graduate with engineering undergrad and a master's. How long is that going to take you?
It's only going to take me 4 years.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's going to take me 4 years to get my design engineering minor and my engineering management master's.
Wow, that's great. And then it's off to the workforce, right?
Then right off to the workforce.
All right. Well, will that be next year that you graduate?
That'll be next year, about a year from now.
A year from now. All right. Well, look forward to hearing and seeing all about that, man. Keep up the great work.
Sounds good.